Hey, it's JP with Central Idaho Mountain Weather. It's January 21st, 2026. Looking down to the south of that stratus clouds that have been clinging on to the Snake Basin. Those kind of came up into the Wood River Valley yesterday and gave us that fog cloud, typical of these high pressure regimes when we have inversions, where that cool air is sinking to the valley floor and that warm air is rising above, creates these fog banks that just hang on for a while. And if you're enjoying this broadcast, we ask you to do a one-time donation, or even better, sign up for that monthly sustaining membership. We're going to have some periods of clouds over the next few days. There is a trough that is going to break up those inversions that I was just showing you. That's going to happen on Friday. There's nothing significant happening with this trough or the near future. So we're going to continue to be in a drought. This is day 13 of no new snow. Looking at a big system to our west. Apparently, this has been bringing lots of snow to eastern Russia. And when we have the jet stream looking like this, having these big ebbs and flows, these big waves, that creates these periods of high, blocking patterns. So we're just have this high pressure here, our low over to the west of that, and we just continue to be in this blocking pattern. Looking at satellite imagery today, you can see we're going to have some clouds move up from the southwest and also some from the northwest. So we're kind of get sandwiched between two different flows. Take a step back here. You can see this is a closed low that's forming off of California. We got northerly flow above us, and then this coming in from this direction. So we're going to get kind of squeezed with clouds, but not really any precip. You can see that light blue. This is that stratus fog cloud that's just been hanging over Boise and the Snake River Valley here. And that did migrate its way up to the north into Bellevue and Haley yesterday, giving us the, if you're on top of Baldy, you could see some pretty cool cloud formations. Looks like a sea of clouds with the mountains poking through. Looking at the cloud forecast for today, you can see we're going to have lots of high upper cirrus clouds coming in, but also a little bit of some of those lower or mid-level clouds. The mid-level clouds are really what blocks out the sun, and you can see we're kind of in the middle of those two. So hit or miss whether that's going to happen. Yesterday's cloud forecast kind of fell through. I think today is going to be a little cloudier though. All right, that's pretty much all we got to talk about in a high pressure regime. We can talk about the future. We're going to be sitting above average for temperatures over the next week. You can see that with this slight increase in temperatures to next Friday. Looking out about a week out, getting temperatures into the 40s up to the mid 40s by next week. No real precip. This is looking for in Haley. Switching back, we're going to be I think near normal for precip. Taking a little bit to load these images. I'm going to move on. We're going to talk about the GFS and the 500 millibar chart. Put this in motion. You can see that close low to the left of California. That's going to spin in some clouds today. Northwest flow over our head right now. These two are going to merge and form this big trough system, and all that air is coming from the Arctic, so it's pretty dry, so it's not going to really bring any moisture with it, but it will shift the air and break up some of those inversions. And then moving into next week, you can see another ridge forming in place that builds pretty strong by Tuesday, Wednesday time frame. Looks like maybe a dry cold front comes through on Wednesday with some winds, but we just continue to ridge until next weekend. So continuing to have little to no snow. However, if we do look at the MBM total snowfall, you can see we might get some snow here. This might actually just be from cedar feeder situation with those stratus cumulus clouds that form where they just have real light snow falling from them because there's so much moisture packed into those stratus clouds. And then you can see a little bit of snow coming in on the Monday night, Tuesday time frame into Wednesday. And this is kind of now getting into the future, but even you can see there's really just 1 to 3 inches, mostly in the western mountains and sawtooths. So really kind of bleak forecast we're looking at here. So we can, maybe people are starting to hope for February being a better month than January, where we're having a high and dry month. This is pretty typical to when I first moved here about 15 years ago. January would just be high and dry, and then February would come through with some moisture. So maybe we have that to look forward to.